question, the member for Lanark, Frontenac, Kingston.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Premier. In April, the FAO reported that in March, over 1,000 sick and elderly patients in our hospitals had been transferred to our overcrowded and understaffed long-term care facilities. This was at the direction of your government, under the advice and guidance of your unelected public health officials in the COVID command table. 2/3 of all COVID deaths, nearly 2,000 people, died in these overcrowded LTC homes. We're all witnesses to these horrible tragedies that happen in long-term care, but is anyone responsible? Speaker, Bill 218 will not only provide immunity for the consequences of these actions, but also conceal these actions for all time. What is the Premier afraid of?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And what our government is doing is looking out for the people of Ontario in terms of making sure that those who have acted in good faith and those who have made an honest effort and have taken public health advice, that those people have a level of security to contribute to our communities, to engage in our communities. And I'm talking well beyond what the members are referencing. I'm talking about the Cobourg Soccer Club, who didn't operate this year because their board of directors and their volunteers were too nervous to get on the field and get the kids on the field, Mr. Speaker. I have dozens and dozens and hundreds of examples, quite frankly, of that, mental health and addictions ramifications. You can touch on almost any area of society, Mr. Speaker, and there was nervousness, and that is what our government is protecting and moving forward so that we can reinvigorate our communities and make sure that we come through COVID as a team.
Again to the Premier. We know that confinement and isolation is unhealthy and is reserved as a punishment for dangerous criminals. But the elderly in LTC have been subjected to this cruelty for 8 months. Every day we hear more stories from the elderly who would rather die than live any more alone and in fear. We hear the tragic stories of families not permitted to visit. The refusal to hold a public inquiry, and now Bill 218, ensures that the full extent of this tragedy will be hidden from public scrutiny. And why? Why did we not provide temporary transfers out of LTC? Why were our elderly denied health care in our hospitals? And why were doctors prevented from helping in LTC? Just to name a few. Speaker, why is the Premier abdicating responsibility and hiding from accountability? Is he afraid that the truth will be his end?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're supporting the communities, and we want to make sure that those bad actors are held to account. We are going to make sure that there is room in the system and focus, so that some of these tragic situations will be dealt with accordingly. There seems to be some misunderstanding by the member opposite of what exactly is happening. We've been investing. We are the first government to set up a long-term care minister. We are the first government to invest record numbers in our systems to protect the people of Ontario. And there are tragic situations, and those will be dealt with. But we want answers, and we want them quick, and that's why we've set up the commission, so that we can get answers and we can react to them. If we put in place an inquiry which he keeps asking for, it would be years and years, and we don't have that kind of time, Mr. Speaker.